Hey, what's going on? Facebook, YouTube, all our viewers, thank you for joining us for another episode of Power P. We appreciate you coming in and checking in on us. We've got a great show tonight. We've got two special guests. We got B Jock City and we got Mr. TJ Spitter joining us. So look how lovely they look down below, our lovely couple on the panel. So we're going to go ahead and introduce ourselves. Remember to subscribe, like, share, comment, join in on the activities we have. It's going to be fun tonight. And make sure you stick around for our last segment, Truth or Drink. You don't want to miss that. And on that note, I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Lady E.
What's up, everybody? I'm Lady E, and I'm excited about this episode tonight because we have some fellows on here and they're gonna spit some knowledge to us. And I'm anxious to, hear what they have to say about our topics. And I just want to thank everybody who's gonna comment tonight and who's viewing us tonight. And I'm excited to get this started. And thanks everybody for being so active in the clock watch and giving us so much, feedback on what we have to say. So appreciate that. So
thanks. All right, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Ben, aka B Jock City, aka Entrepreneur Extraordinaire Day. How's everybody doing today? Great. I am here so I can listen and learn and also give a little bit of feedback as to the topics for tonight. I am so happy to be here. Make sure you guys subscribe to Clock Watch, which is an awesome, awesome platform. And I am, once again, extremely excited to be here.
What's up, y'all? It's TJ Spitter from Spitting with Spitter on Wednesdays and Clock Watch. Be sure to go to the Clock Watch YouTube page and ring the bell, subscribe, and like. Don't forget to comment tonight. It's going to be a great show. We're going to pass it over to Mrs. Spitter.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for coming in today. I wanted to just shout out Clock Watch. Last night was the funniest, weirdest episode. You guys, I could watch it every night. I literally could. So great. So that's the regular Clock Watch podcast is Sundays and Tuesdays, 9 o'clock. Around the Turnbuckles on Saturdays. This week they were off. Around the Turnbuckle, took my husband here on a wrestling trip. They went out way deep into Pennsylvania and watched some wrestling. And this week I heard we have a really special guest on Spitting with Spitter. Yeah.
You'll have to tune in for that.
It's gonna be interesting, guys.
I can't wait. So thanks to everybody tuning in, and thanks to everybody for the polls. We're going to get to that later, but we got so many great responses, so I'm really excited.
We're going to start off really quick with some of our comments. We've already got some guys chiming in. So we got Angel. What's up, little pun? What's good? What's good?
What's good, boy?
We got Emma. Hey, girl. What's good? Darlene wanted to say hello.
Hi, Darlene.
Hey.
And Miss Spitter and Mr. Spitter, especially for you. All right. So we're going to go ahead and get into it. I'm going to throw the topic up, and then Miss Spitter is going to go ahead and take it from there.
All right. Our first topic of the night is toxic masculinity versus real masculinity. And what does it really mean to be a man? So we've had we've had a variety of men come in and out of Clock Watch groups. So I think this is a topic we can really shed some light on. I ran a poll today of what's the main traits of being a real man. And a lot of people in the comments were saying, like, it's subjective. It's not that black and white. It's different for everybody. Each man is different. But we did get a lot of responses on the traits that were up there. And of course, it's not every trait ever, and it doesn't apply to everybody in every situation all the time. But number one was responsible for family. That was overwhelming, the first answer. Even though we had somebody answer and say, I'm a man, but I don't have a family, so we don't mean you. You're fine. Number two was being respectful to others. Number three was influential in your community. Number 4, established financially. And number 5 was being respected by others, which I thought it would be flip-flop with the respect. I also thought there was 3 answers that got 0 votes. And I thought that these answers were very typically toxic man kind of answers. And that was being dominant over others, being attractive to women, and being physically strong. 0 votes. None. So I thought that was really interesting. Ben, you want to give us some of your thoughts on this topic?
Well, so there were a lot of things in there that I saw that, like when it comes to responsibility to their family, I think that's extremely important. I think that's as me being a Christian, I am, biblically the head of the house, in my belief, but I think that there's a lot more to that. And I think that with all those things combined, I think it's about role modelship and it's about what you do. I think it's having integrity and accountability for all the things that you do. That's the measure of a man. You know what I'm saying? It's not about being the strongest. It's not about this, that, and the third. No, it's about being there, being responsible, having integrity, having accountability, and the whole thing with, being attractive to women and stuff like that. Most men, they know that it is what it is. We don't put, men, we don't put makeup on and we don't, straighten our hair. Well, some guys do, but we walk out of the house like we walked into the house after work. It's just plain and simple.
So real quick before we go to Spitter, I want to just go through. We've got a couple of few here too. So Johanna says, "What's up?" Aaron says, "Yes, you got sound. I don't need to send you headphones. Woo! I'm glad you're watching with sound. Thank you." Ryan, aloha. We still got love for each other, right? Despite last night, we still got love for each other. All right. Just wanted to make sure of that. Show up when you say you're going to, and I think that goes back to what B was saying in regards to accountability and responsibility, right?
And integrity, yeah.
Absolutely. And then Aaron says, "I wonder what a less mature group would have answered." I'm glad you think we're mature.
I appreciate that.
I didn't answer yet. Give that time.
I think
so. Those are.
I think he meant like the polls. Like the whole,
right.
Yeah, the whole group
of people that answered it.
Yeah, I'm glad he thinks we're mature because we're still part of that group.
Right.
So we'll send it
What do you think, babe?
I agree a lot with Ben. Accountability is huge. Whenever I say I'm going to do something for my family, I do it. I always show up. Dependability, reliability, like they know when all the shit hits the fan that they can count on me, right? And then 2, on the other side, right? Like I'm raising children. Well, not children, they're older now. But as the man of the house and the spiritual leader, I'm showing my daughter what she should look for in a man or a husband. And I'm showing my son how he should treat every woman in his life. You know what I mean? So it's a little bigger than that, as far as just being a man. It's not about muscles or what I do or how I do it or what my job title is or people who respect me. I mean, that's all well and good. But at the end of the day, being a man is what goes on in these doors, not what goes on out there.
Facts.
So I have a question to that, though. I have a follow-up question to both the guys. Right? And my follow-up question is, but isn't that how any human being, male or female, should behave? How does that separate from femininity to masculinity? Like where does that divide? How does that separate? Why wouldn't that be something a woman should do as well?
She should.
Absolutely.
She should. And that's why I believe in the household, the roles are weighted and equal. I don't believe the table should be leaning at any point. You know what I mean?
Okay.
My thing is just to segue off of what TJ said. there has to be a beautiful balance. There has to be trust and there has to be compromise. The one thing. So when this was years and years and years and years and years ago, when I really fell hard on my face on life. I was a dishwasher for a place down in Easton. It used to be called Sophia's. Now it's like Phantom Fireworks. And I washed dishes to provide for my family. And I washed dishes for such a long time. My wife does not allow me to wash dishes anymore because, psychologically speaking, it kind of brings me back. But I'll take the garbage out and I'll do everything else. The one thing I tell my wife, listen, dishes get me depressed because in a state of mind when you're when you're standing there in front of a dishwasher and you're washing dishes, they're screaming at you. Nope, everybody thinks you're basically a piece of shit because you can't go out and waiter. You know what I mean? You're a dishwasher, so psychologically speaking, it just gets me down. But my wife knows that I will come through when it's picking up after everybody taking out the garbage and all that stuff. So there has to be a compromise.
So what does toxic masculinity look like? Like how do we know the difference?
And have you guys ever been toxic masculinity?
Oh.
Have you ever?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I didn't get here without some bumps in the road.
Absolutely.
And toxic masculinity, that's the forcing the dominance onto your partner, right? That's the verbal abuse. That's the less than attitude that I'm standing up here on this mountain and everybody's less than me. And like that dictates in how you talk and how you treat people, like, and to me, like that shit is a turnoff. Like, how are you even in a relationship? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
so narcissism,
yeah,
egotistical,
right,
misogynistic. So things like that would be toxic traits.
And again, it goes back to like me and Ben, we both have daughters. No man is going to treat my daughter like that, and I hope that I've set the example in my house to where she should not that I'm not by any means saying I'm a perfect husband or a perfect guy or any of this, you know what I mean? But like, I hope that the example has been set, you know what I mean? If that makes sense.
Gotcha.
My
so
daughter,
we have some.
I'm sorry. Just to go off of what TJ said. So my daughter's 9 years old. Okay, she's starting to get her little.
That's about when it starts. Mm-hmm.
And my daughter Brooklyn, she's on the spectrum. So she's like this little innocent, little girl. I freaking love my daughter Brooklyn, but she will throw down because she knows every single time I talk to my daughter Kimberly, like she got a crush on Zac Efron.
No,
like
who doesn't?
I found my daughter's iPad because I wanted to check something out, and then the first thing I see as the wallpaper, I was like, Zac Efron. I was like, Kimberly Judith, ¿qué tú estás haciendo con este hombre aquí en el iPad? And she was like, no, daddy, he's from The Greatest Showman. I was like, why has it got little hearts on it, bruh? I was like, stop playing. But here's the thing though. I have sat down with her and I said, listen, mamita, you have to understand something. The way you see how daddy treats mommy, that's the type of man that you need to find when you're older. Because I don't want to find out that no man is putting his hands on you when you say, I don't want you to put my hands on me because my daddy will kill you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
I talk to all the little dirty boys, bro. I talk to all of them.
On the set, I will find them.
Have that little shotgun went in the back of the car.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Hey, Sarah. Thanks for joining. Thank you. Then we got, yes, the traits my wife have would make me a good man. Masculinity, like beauty, is in the eye of the beholder. The man God I am to my wife may not be perceived by another woman. Facts, because women look for different things in men. Boy, you better bust them suds. That's to you, Ben. But then your wife chimes in and says, facts. Ben does not do the dishes.
Yeah.
Told you.
I wanted to say dishes make me depressed too, but for different reasons.
Many religions, we've got our Christian men on here. Many religions promote a toxic masculinity. What do you say to that?
Ben, if you don't mind me answering, I get most of my advice from my wife. How about that? Like everything, like, you know, whether it's being a father or being a man or how I should interact with people or how I should interact with her. These are all communicative things. These things that we talk about. We talk about everything, you know, like don't label me a Christian and expect me to not have flaws. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, we all fall short.
What do you think about the religion causing that statement of religion causing the toxic masculinity?
All right, so let me debunk this right quick, because I just want to tell people that I'm not a religious person.
Facts.
I'm not a religious person. I am a Christian, but I'm not religious. There's a difference between being religious and being a believer. You feel me? There's a difference between saying I follow Christ and I follow the church. Because there's a lot of denominations out there that I mean, this is going to go into another rant, but on another episode probably. But a lot of people don't understand that religion is man-made. It's not made by God.
Right.
We have been cultured throughout since Abraham in the Bible that we need to do this, that, and the third. We need to do this because if not, God will not show glory. But I'd rather go speak to a drunk man on the side of the road that is spitting facts about life than go to a religious person in a church and they go and they say, no, you can't do this, you can't do that. And then you find out that this dude's got 3 honeys on the side. What are you doing, bro?
Yeah.
Wow.
There's a very big difference between me being, you know, I went to Catholic school from pre-K to 8th grade, where I had religion class, right? And I didn't really learn anything about the Bible or anything about God or anything about anything that I believed in until I matured and became a man later on in life.
TJ, can I ask you a question about that?
Go ahead.
So I went to Catholic school as well.
Okay.
What did you learn? What did you decide as you got older that you didn't believe in? What changed for you?
I learned that I shouldn't fidget in class and I shouldn't talk with my hands, and I speak out of turn a lot.
So you didn't learn anything? You had you took nothing away from that experience, structure wise. There's nothing. I'm not being condescending. I'm asking you, like, legit. I'm asking you, like.
I know, and I wish I could put you into my Catholic school so you could understand the dynamic of it.
Oh, I was in.
I learned, you know.
I got it. I'm just asking, like, you got nothing.
I got taught like the commandments, and I got taught how to live by the commandments, or how I should live by the commandments. I got taught like Bible verses as they pertain to situations in class, which isn't really, like, realistically, that's not really how the Bible works. You know, but here we are. That's why
that's a whole different segment, though. That is like a legit.
Yeah, it really is.
Absolutely. Like, I could really go off the rails. And
maybe we'll have a whole religious show. I don't know how many people watch. But
maybe we should. I think we should. I think that'd be really.
People will tune in to mess though, because people are going to want to hear atheists and Christians and Catholics and people combat.
I don't think we're arguing. I think we're just. I'm trying to understand what you took away from that, and I think you made a good point. Like, you didn't take anything from it. I took a lot. Just backtrack. I'm really sorry. I slept, guys. I fell asleep. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I'm late.
You're not Christian because you said
Mom.
All right, we have a comment. We have a comment that's related to
I have a question for them after this.
Okay.
After this.
So Abraham, Christ, Allah, men giving advice. I was probably 10 when I asked, what did the woman say? but I was surrounded by better women than men. Also, I never had gods so much ignorance here. Natural commandments are innate and came first. And I got one more, real quick, Lady E. I come from a Muslim house and household, and my mother kneeled at the presence of my father. I didn't like it.
Wow.
Now, so what up, King Clips?
King Clips, what up?
So my thing is, that's basically what I'm talking about, is that religions, when you break it down, religions are the ones that make those laws. So yeah, Abraham, Christ, I don't want to say because Allah for me as a Christian, as being a believer in the Almighty God, as I like to call him, Yahweh. Assalamu alaikum to my brother right there, because we are all brothers as this human race. So assalamu alaikum to him. So my thing is, when we break it down, and it's good because right now the focus and center of this conversation right now that we're having is about God, which is the Father, which is the masculinity that we want to talk about. But once again, when you go and you break it down into these religions are making men command that respect. Kneel before me. And me, as a believer in Christ, not as a religious person in Christ, I will never make my wife is Irish. She'll beat my Latin ass.
But I think when we look at it, right? So from the Christian standpoint, and then we have a comment, and then I know Lady E wanted to come in.
Oh my God.
From a Christian standpoint, right? It's supposed to be the God is the head, right? Then the woman leads the children and helps the man. But it's even though in the umbrella the man is over the woman, he's never to behave as if he is above the woman, but it's to be as beside the woman, and they work together as a unit, as one, and that's why they become one. Right? The day they get married, they become one. So it's never I am above you and you are beneath me, but we are to work together in different functions to make us be all one unit as a family, biblically speaking. So that bow to my feet is a bunch of bullshit. And people take what they want from the Bible and go from there and then format it into whatever they're gonna twist it into. But real quick, we're gonna go here to the 2 comments, and then we're gonna let Lady E follow up with her question. So I grew up Catholic, but stepped away when I got older and found out more from myself about my Christianity, not my religious faith anymore.
That's what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm. And then the Bible is written by men. Gods are male, which make no sense. No one has a problem with that. No, I think we do, and that's what we were saying.
We could do a whole show on that, but
yes, that'd be good though.
Just to go and put the exclamation point on this part of the masculinity thing. Just remember that we are different. When you see comments like that, when it comes to the whole Aaron Gaudet, the thing you have to understand is that we are looking at something that happened thousands of years ago, and we have evolved throughout time for women to have their rights, for women to have a voice. And that's happened in the past 100 years. It literally just happened that women's rights happened 100 years ago. And we have to respect that as men, that we are all children of God. Doesn't matter if you're a man, if you're a woman, whatever gender you are, we at the end of the day are children of the Creator. So having a problem with it, I go back and I use it as a reference. I don't read the Bible literally, because if you're reading the Bible literally, Papi, you got problems, man.
And Benjamin, so you can't. And wait, sorry, I don't see your thing.
Hold on, let's get Lady E first. She's been waiting.
Yeah, it's Lady. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Lady,
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Well, I just wanted to hear from the men, maybe some advice for single mothers out there who are raising sons, and what's your advice to give them, and how you teach masculinity to your sons if you're a woman? Because usually it's the man teaching the son. So I'm just
before you guys answer
on that.
Can we hold that for the next question? Because that really ties into where we're going on the next one.
And then we still have some stuff about religion here that we can touch over here.
Yeah.
I just need to ask. Can I ask Benjamin real quick though?
Yeah.
What's up?
He had some solid points. I know I'm 9 minutes late. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. He had some really, really good points on this whole topic. Did I miss that entire segment, or did you already say your piece?
We're not gonna hold
you were late. We're gonna get you.
Sorry.
I'm gonna put my nun. I'm gonna put my Catholic nun suit on and get the ruler and smack your hand. What's that? That's what we're gonna do.
Sorry,
exactly, Chrissy Richards. The man is the head, but the woman is the neck, and he can't turn his head without a woman. You're absolutely right.
That's
we got
a great analogy. That's
absolutely. We got a couple more. Maybe we need a whole new God in Christ, Christ in man,
All right,
man over woman, women over children. No role is more important than the other. Truth. And then we got a few more. Men are supposed to represent God 24/7. Absolutely. Right. My in-laws are devout Muslims from Egypt, and I've never heard of women kneeling before the husband. But I think clips that goes back to interpretation, right? And then what their perceived notion of how that is supposed to be represented. Maybe that's NOI stuff. Maybe.
What's the way?
You must keep a good relationship with the father of the child. Period.
Lady E's question, yeah.
Unless that father figure is a toxic father figure, he has no right to teach the kids toxicity. That's completely incorrect. Okay, my son is my stepson. Okay, I married my wife. My son was 8 years old. My son is now living with me, and my son has received more love in the past year than he has in the past 9 years that he lived with his father, because his father was a toxic, masculine type figure.
My ex-husband.
And my son, who's now 20 years old, he's kind of backtracking in his emotions because he didn't know how to express, because his father was never there. So a lot of the BS has to stop, where people have to say, no, but I'm sorry, that's just a trending topic, and I hate trends. A father is supposed to be a great role model, so when they do go out on the street when they're 18 years old, they can expect to respect authority figures. So if a cop does stop you, just listen, do your thing. I'd rather my son comply than get shot because he's like, you're not my dad. It's a lot of cultural wrong stuff right now. We have to switch the civics in this country.
So we have Ryan disagrees.
It's all right, Mr. Johnson. We could be different, bro. We could be different as long as we show love at the end of the day. It is what it is, bro.
Listen, can I tell you something though, real quick? So I got pulled over with 5 different misdemeanors, and the cop was like, "Yeah, go ahead." If I was a man, and if I was a man,
here you go with that pen again. I'm gonna throw it out.
Sorry. I gotta be doing something with my hands. If I was a man, and if I was a man of color, and I was doing half the things that I was doing at the time, I'd have been nervous.
Absolutely. There's a big problem in this country with that.
Yes, it is. It is a legit problem. I mean, it really is, because he was like, "Oh, you have an open container. Oh, you were doing 80 and a 45. You're adorable. Oh, you have no registration. Oh, your insurance is up. Oh, you reached for your glove compartment. Go ahead. You're fine."
But are you single?
You get your phone number at the end of this. I mean, like, it is really a problem. So, like, we act like this is how it should be, and it should be that way, but it's not that way. So you can't pretend that it is that way, because it's kind of not. Like, Ben, come on, it's kind of not that way. You have to see a little bit of a difference.
Misdemeanor Montana.
Hold on. Let me interject on this one, only because I have brown boys, right? I have brown babies. And my one is 19. He's going to be 20. and my other one is 13, right? My 19-year-old is continuously finding himself in some sort of trouble. Continuously. And I have taught him to be respectful, but also to know his rights, right?
Absolutely.
To be respectful and follow directions, and we can always fight whatever the issue is at the end. But 9 out of 10 times, my son is the wrong one any freaking way. So I usually tell him to shut the fuck up and just do what they told you to do. We'll fight it at the end. But also know your rights. Also know that you don't have to answer their questions. That you don't have to. If you can say I have the right to remain silent and I whatever, if you need to take me to the station, take me to the station. If you're gonna write me a ticket, write me a ticket. If you're gonna let me go, then let me go. But I no longer wish to speak with you.
That's it.
So you have your rights. And you know, if you're walking the street, you should have ID. Know if they're wrongly targeting you, still give them your ID. But I understand where the frustration comes from. But me as a mother wanting my son to come home safe, this is what I had to teach him. I had to teach him different than someone else would teach their, you know, a Caucasian child. Also, on the other side of that, my son is a type 1 diabetic, okay? And there are times when he can't comply. There are times when he can't follow directions because of his medical condition. And that scares the shit out of me as a mother with a brown baby, okay? So much so that I took my son's picture to the police stations in the area and said, my son has a medical condition. He usually finds himself in some trouble. I'm not saying he's an angel, but if you should ever come across him, please keep in mind that he has a medical condition that can inhibit him from being able to respond to you accordingly. And it's
Absolutely.
sad that I had to do that. But as a mother of a brown baby, I had to do that. You know?
Yeah, it's not right. That's so
my daughter's a Latina and she's also on the spectrum. And you know, Montana talked to me about this. You know, when we spoke a couple of days ago. You know, my daughter's also on the spectrum, and she also is a Latina. So I mean, and just shout out to all my Latinos out there, because you know what I'm saying. Right now, there's a thing. What about the Latinos? Show love. You know what I mean? Boom, right there. Mm-hmm. But it's the same thing. And I commend you, Chrissy, for taking that step, because but the thing is that you're already taking accountability and bringing it to light already, which is phenomenal.
Yeah, but I shouldn't have to.
Right, exactly. She shouldn't have to. But my son is autistic and type 1. So that in itself is that's like a double trouble. I mean, I can't imagine if he had something else to add to that. And I just don't think it's right. I've witnessed and I've seen a lot of videos. I watched a lot of stuff, and there is a vast difference in the way that people are treated in the different areas. And I'm not okay with it. Like I'm unsettled. I'm unsettled. I don't like it.
So Robert says this is the first time that he's actually agreed with you on something, Montana.
Oh, for real? Once?
Yeah.
Someone agrees with me for once?
And Brandon, hi, Brandon. He said, I'm going to have to disagree with dude in the hat. Blacks have it different. I comply and get shot. Did you see the dude?
Yes.
Can kick for no reason. He complied.
Yeah. This again is a whole nother episode, I believe.
It is. So we're gonna read the comments, and then we're gonna go right back, and we're gonna bring it back in with the hat. My bad. Hannah Montana. So you missed Angel's first. Hello. Yeesh.
Hi, Angel. Hi.
Boricua all day, papi. I'm so sorry you have to do that for your son living in this so-called free country. Absolutely. Yeah, same. So we're gonna reel it back in. I do want to say one thing, and then if Miss Spitter and Montana wants to speak on this. For me, what a real man looks like for me is someone like the guy said who has accountability and responsibility. But here's the other thing too. I want a man not dominant, but as strong as me because I'm a strong woman and I need a man who's just as strong as me. I can't do the timid, shy, don't know how to make decisions, can't, that doesn't work for me. I feel like that can be toxic too, being too complacent and too soft about things. And I don't know if that's the right thing to say because maybe that makes me a toxic woman, but because there can be
Absolutely.
toxic women, but that's what I find as an ideal masculine man for me. But we're equally strong. So who wants to take it from here? We have a lot of comments. Go ahead.
Yeah, that was a big comment.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I haven't gone yet. I agree with you. I like a man who is dominant and takes control. And I don't want to run things. I don't want to be in power. I don't want to do that. Like, you're my man. Take everything under your control. Protect me. Protect my kids. Be my man. And if you can't do that, then you're kind of not the guy for me. I mean, I'm not trying to be codependent, but
just take some control of some things because when women are like when I'm in control of everything, it drives me fucking insane.
Yeah, it's too much.
Yeah.
I already have my kids. My kids, like just like yours, my kids are my life. I put my entire heart and soul into my kids. So I need like a little, like, I don't expect you to take over my kids or like the diabetes or like, all this other bullshit. I don't need you to do that. I need you to just help me. Help me. when I am at the end of the night, like, pick me up like a baby and put me to bed and help me. Just please, just be my man. That's all I need. That's the only thing I ask. So I don't know. Then toxic versus real. Toxic would be someone who's controlling and jealous and insecure and constantly like you're doing something wrong. Like you're always like, that's what you do. That's sick.
But like I said, there's a compromise though. There's a compromise when it comes to strength because listen, when I walk into the store, and my wife, listen, when I go and my wife's like, babe, we got to do this, that, and the third because they took money from us, they overcharged us. I'll walk in there, you know what I mean, all big chest and I'll do my thing. And then once my wife goes and says, babe, I'm like, bro, you gonna get it? Because my wife is about to speak. I'll let her handle. Like,
same shit, bro.
And she's not drunk. So you better watch out.
That's funny. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to agree with both of you guys somewhat.
Okay.
I know I can be bossy. I'm the oldest sibling. I was born this way. I don't want to, you know what I mean? I think we talked about this on another episode, right? If I can boss you around, there's a problem. I don't want you to take my shit, but
that's what I mean.
I don't know about I guess toxic for me is like a huge ego. Like I can't deal with that. And a little humility goes a long way. I really don't like to be told what to do. I'm not like all the way there with the whole dominant man thing. Like I don't like my boss to tell me what to do. I don't like my man to tell me what to do. I'd like to ask him and say, what do you think? And then he can tell me. But if I say I'm on my way to go take a shower and he says, go take a shower, I'm like, great. Now I don't want to go in there. Why do you have to say it? But I think toxic is definitely like the big ego, the womanizing. If you cannot appreciate women and you came from a woman, there's something wrong. There's like a disconnect somewhere.
Right.
Other than that, I'm going to go with a lot of these comments where people said every guy is different and just like be your best self. That's the real man.
The best
like
you can be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, have that confidence in yourself.
So we have a few comments. Darlene says, I'm Jewish. If you want my
this religious episode's happening.
So yes, we definitely want your perspective. We always want everybody's perspective. Now, I think we're all going to get covered up by this comment, but we shall see. And Facebook user, I need you to step outside and subscribe to the terms of the conditions for StreamYard. If you go back outside the podcast, you'll see it. So, Facebook user, thank you for your comment. You say, I think toxic masculinity comes from a place of insecurity and a lack of self-confidence. It's a sign of weakness and a feeling of being threatened. A real man has come into the fullness of his masculinity, is confident, has control of his emotions, actions, thoughts, goes about his life with purpose, does not seek to dominate a woman, but rather seek out his equal to complement one another. He is not threatened by a woman who is independent. Therefore, if you want to raise a masculine, and we can't see the rest of it because it's so long, but you know what? I love this comment from top to bottom, and I really wish we knew who you were. So please let us know who you are, because that was a phenomenal.
That's a great
way to sum it up.
Great.
He sounded like he just wrote the illest book of 2020.
Right?
Nah, I'm just chilling, big fella.
So conduct yourself respectfully, and you most likely will be okay. I get pulled all the time, and I'm fine. So Chrissy Richards taking notes. Yes, take notes. Montana is talking to me. You're talking to him, Montana?
Oh, pun, Jesus. Hold on. Does somebody have my thirst trap spray from last night?
My husband gave me a mug that said, Hail Satan, and said it was a joke. Oh, no, Darlene, I'm sorry.
Watch out. Through the mouth comes life or death. Be careful with what you say, because what you say, it goes into the universe. So even if it's a joke, that's something real harsh to say.
Absolutely. Toxic masculinity keeps men in an emotional prison. Toxic masculinity is basically the repression of feelings in favor of generally maintaining an appearance of perceived hardness. I don't think asking for your due to have some control qualifies as toxic. Thank you very much for that, Robert.
That's a great comment.
Robert, President 2020. I don't think I don't remember who you are. I know who you are. You need to go put yourself on the ballot. You're not strong. You're not strong. What makes you strong? Respectfully asking men don't need strong women.
Disagree.
I don't know what you meant by that. You're gonna hate me tonight, maybe, but I don't know what you meant by that. Do you want a man?
I'm a strong man, and I need a strong woman.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Again, the table cannot lean.
Do you want a man to mend, I guess, your shoulder to cry on? LOL, nope. There's not a lot of...
Yes, your man should be able to cry on your shoulder.
Absolutely.
We didn't even get into this with the toxic masculinity and the feeling.
We just got so many. I want to get through them. My wife and kids are Jewish.
Yeah. I like Clips is like his is like long as shit.
Yeah. I think some of what people call toxic masculinity is bullshit. Men have a hormone called testosterone. Women have testosterone too. Men have estrogen as well. That makes us aggressive and assertive. If a guy is being abusive, call it that. But I watched a video with a lady spraying bleach on random men's crotches in their pants because they sat with their legs open. She said it was toxic masculinity.
It was the man spreading.
Yeah.
Listen, all that. So the stuff, what people got to understand is that the stuff that we see on Facebook, a lot of the stuff, I only know strong women, not just anything. That's cool, Aaron. But like, what the thing is that what we do is we tend to go what we do is we tend to go to Facebook instead of turning into our own home and looking in. Okay, people that are going and throwing bleach on a man's crotch because he's got his legs open. Listen, obviously there's something psychologically wrong with this person, because who out of the people that you know personally will go and do something like this? So what the problem is that we're seeing on social media, and this is the biggest problem with social media.
Ben, not to interrupt you, but I don't know if anybody's ready for that conversation yet, because everybody goes to Facebook for all their information and their real life facts.
But bro, you're preaching, bro. But what I'm saying is that these people, that the things that are being filmed, or the things, because I'm an editor, okay? I'm an editor, so I know how to cut, clip. TJ can tell you, I'm a gangster when it comes to graphics. I'm a gangster.
Fabulous weekly.
I appreciate it. But the thing is that the stuff that we're seeing on Facebook is the things that people are going to first, instead of, like I said, turning around, putting their back up against the wall and looking into their own house. And they don't look at the problems that are in their house first. They go to Facebook first.
That's the shit. Everybody, there's no accountability, Ben. Nobody wants to keep their side of the fucking street clean. Part of my language, but I feel very strongly on this. Everybody want to play the woe is me, and this is what's happening, and this is why I act like this, and they don't want to be accountable. And now here we are, a bunch of baby back bitches checking Facebook for information. I should live accordingly because Facebook told me I should vote for so and so. That's what I should do. Man. Make me not fucking water oil.
Talk about it.
Yeah. So what do you think about this?
I think Ryan is a troll. He been trolling in the group for mad long. He does a whole bunch of clickbait shit. We could talk about it, Ryan. Hey.
All right. I think we beat this like a dead horse.
Catch me outside.
I don't know if E answered. E, wait, that way. Are you hearing us? Are you did you get a good connection? Can you answer?
I can hear you guys, but my connection is bad. Like it's really, really bad, and it's lagging a lot, and I hear somewhat. I'm trying to fix it, but
you sound good right now.
I really don't know I really don't know like what the topic, like what are we still talking about this? I don't know what the question is. Like I don't.
Right there. Toxic masculinity versus real masculinity.
What's it to you? What's a real man?
Oh, okay. A real man is somebody who has strength, courage, independence, leadership, and assertiveness. Be there for your partner and family, overcome challenges, feel your emotions and express them, and also know what to do with those emotions. And be present at home and be a provider. And those are what I think real masculinity is. And don't, like being toxic, just talking down to your significant other, thinking that you're more superior to them. It's just toxic is just being, have sexual aggression, emotion, and then just like be a stereotype, like the women are supposed to, stay at home and cook and clean and do all the house stuff while the man is just supposed to work, and then comes home and, expects all these things from his wife. But I mean, I think to be in a real to be a real man is like you're equal to your partner, and you are able, to come home and, do the same things that the woman can do at home, and just be equal to each other. It's a 100% relationship with your spouse. It's not 50-50 to me. It's 100. So
yes.
Well, Erica, then this comment that we have next, I want you to touch on.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Ryan, before Erica answers, Ryan, my apologies. I'm not saying, I digress. If you're not a troll, that's even better. Major salutes to you because I see you tuning in on every show, on every platform, and I appreciate that. But I thought you was trolling for a second, big fella.
What do you say? What do you say to his
so
comment?
with that, there's different types of being a feminine. Okay, you can do. Females can do everything that a male can do, but it's the point. It's like where you're going to help out in a relationship. Like you say you were working all day and your woman was off that day. Like, she wants you to come home to a clean house. She wants you to come home to, dinner cooked or whatever. Or if it was vice versa and she cooked or she worked all day and she comes home and she's she's like, well, what the fuck? Like, working all day, like, expect, to be clean or tight a little bit, and maybe you're going to cook dinner. It's a switch role thing. It's just helping the other person when you know that they're gonna need it, and just being there for that person. And then his other comment when he was like saying toxic masculinity is fake.
Mm-hmm.
I totally disagree with that comment. Because
sounds
it's
like
real.
It's coming from
it's so real, and I think me and Chrissy and.
But I say he's trolling
I think
off the bag.
all the ladies on this panel. I think all the ladies on this panel can definitely tell you that toxic masculinity is real. It's not fake, and we can all vouch for that. Yeah.
And to his statement of I want a woman who's feminine. I don't understand how strong woman isn't feminine.
Right. Aren't we feminine?
This I mean I don't understand how just because she's strong. I think you mean it. Maybe I'm understanding strong wrong because I'm strong in the sense that I can hold down my household. I can take care of my family. I can pay the bills. I can go to work. I can cut the grass if I need to. I could take the trash out. That I'm still a woman doing these things that need to be done. Go ahead, Lady.
I think that he's because men want to feel needed in a relationship, and they want to feel like they are putting some type of, like they're doing their part. So if a woman is always the one that's like, oh, I don't need a man. I can do all this myself, and I can do this and that, and just like every man can do. And I don't think men actually like gravitate towards that. They're just like, well, I want my woman to be a woman. Like I want to be able to open a can for her, or a jar for her, or whatever when she can't open. They no. Yes,
Lady E, we're coming in and out.
All do this.
So Robert says Ryan's out here talking about gender roles, not toxic masculinity. You can support traditional gender roles with another person who wants that. It becomes toxic when you force it on all of your partners.
Great point.
Then we have
great point.
Yep, many men identify feminine with submissive. Nothing wrong with it both. Enjoy. Never for me, and sexual aggression is not poison. My wife likes it and I like it from her.
That's preference though.
Consistent leveling of responsibility, real teamwork is the shit.
It is.
It is, yep. Angel.
So yeah, so we're gonna go off to the next question. I wanted to say, Lady E, no, it's just that you're still coming back in and out. I just didn't want to say it on the air, but you're still coming in and out, E. That's what
we lost you for a little bit there.
I'm gonna switch to my phone. I'm gonna switch to my phone and then see if that helps.
Okay, perfect. Okay. All right, go ahead, Jackie. Miss Spitter, I'm sorry.
Right. That's okay. The next question is, what should we, the women of the ladies of Power P and the ladies watching, know about being supportive to the men in our lives, which is our husbands, brothers, fathers, friends, whatever, but especially our sons. We all have sons. Some of us are single moms with sons. And I didn't have an exact poll for this, but I did ask Clockwatch, who taught you to be a man? And the number one answer was your dad. And the number two answer was the streets. And the number three answer was grandpa's, uncles. Number four was self-taught. And then it goes into coaches, moms, parents that you don't want to be like, women in general, and aliens. That was for you, Paul.
All of the above.
Aliens.
But
all of the above.
Number one is dads. And yeah, all of the above. I know. I saw you clicked everything, Ben. And it is. It's a the village takes a village to raise a child. But I was looking for that number one. And if number one is dad and there is no dad in the house, what can we do? Or even if there is a dad in the house and we have our sons and we're with them a lot. We have our husbands if they're there. You know what I mean? What do we do? What do women need to know? You want to start this one off, Mr. Spitter?
I think first and foremost, it's like this, right? Like because I'm not home a lot of times, like because of my work schedule, right? But if I am home, I make the best of that time. But for the women in our lives, we just need you to be there for may it be emotional support, right? Or to, again, I'm going to continue with the table and the analogy of it leaning. If I'm lacking because I'm not there, help me out and I'll help you out. And it's a compromise and it's a work thing. But for women raising sons, be there for them. They need you to show up to their games. They need you to be present, right? Because if there's not a man present, they need somebody to be accountable and present with them and for them.
You don't have to.
So how do you like, you say go to their games and stuff like that, but how do you really, you're going to be there and support them and go for whatever that they want to do and their dreams and goals and stuff. But like, how do you teach them like masculinity and like, how do you teach them how to be a man when you're a woman? And you're like, I mean, you can teach them from what you would want from a man, but it's like, there's more to that than just, this is what I want in a man, so I'm going to teach my son this. But like, there's other things like I don't even know about. So it's like, it's so hard.
Go ahead,
before you answer that, to piggyback off of what Lady E was saying, I told my son's father, I need you, when my son became about 12, 13, we were separated, but he was still active in his life. And I said to him, I only know how to teach my son how to be a Latin woman. I need you to teach my son how to be a Black man.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So go ahead, Ben.
I love that response, Chrissy. You know what? It at the end of the day, it's about the environment that you place your child in. So Absolutely. Like for me, when Jackie put that poll up, I went and I read all the options, and I was just like, yes, because what my mom did, because I'm not gonna lie, my dad, I really didn't have a good relationship with my father at all for many years, until I was already in adulthood and I was a father. When I gave him grandchildren, that's when he started to come around. And still to this day, because my dad has social anxiety, he really wasn't a part. He didn't go to my soccer games. He didn't go to my football games. He didn't go to nothing except a couple of singing things, because I'm a singer and my dad was proud of that, because that's what I got from him. But when it came down to it, yes, my father taught me, because he wasn't home all the time, he was working, and we ate every single night, no matter what it was, we ate. And then my grandfather taught me grace, because he was my pastor. And then my coaches and my choir teacher taught me discipline and how to do something properly and not to give up. And all my coaches that I ever had, they taught me the responsibility of getting to practice on time, to work as a team, to be not only team disciplined, but also to be self-disciplined. So it's all about It's not about what the woman can do per se from herself, but it's the woman directing their child through life, which is already fucked up as it is. Excuse my language, but it's to direct your child to the man that you want them to be, whether it be a coach that teaches discipline, whether it be somebody in the church that teaches grace, whether it be an uncle or a grandfather that'll teach him how to respect women. That's all it is.
And to piggyback off you, and it's that phrase, right? It takes a village, right? Because I don't know how many times, like for me, for my upbringing, my father was never there because he worked all the time, which showed me if you want something, you have to work hard for it, right? The only two things I've learned from my father was you have to work to get what you want and to be loyal to whoever you're married to. Those were the two things, right? So I have like 5 different moms I was raised by, right? And like every coach that I ever had, all my uncles, right? Because I have a bunch of uncles that aren't my blood uncles, but took me aside and showed me how to come up as a man, right? Like, because like there's certain things that I wasn't taught that they had to teach me, you know, and it is that it takes a village mentality. I can't tell you how many kids that I mentor that don't have fathers, or that do have fathers that are just absent or just not in their lives. You know what I mean? It does take a village.
I respect you, TJ, for doing that.
And Ryan, check this out real fast to answer Ryan. We don't need women for emotional support. Ryan, sometimes my life is so crazy, and sometimes it is just so much that I have a breakdown that I need my woman there for me to just hold me down for a second.
Oh, we got another comment from him. What's up with men nowadays? Beta. God is the alpha. Real men aren't emotional. We're logical and at peace.
I don't agree with that.
So what you're saying is I'm not. I think I'm an alpha male, and I think everybody that knows me agrees. And I'm also emotional at times.
TJ, I'm an alpha male too. So watch your mouth, bro.
Absolutely. So
you can be masculine and an alpha male and still show emotions and feel things. It's like I mean, for somebody to not show emotions, you're just completely like you separate yourself.
Like we said yesterday, you know who don't show emotions? Psychopaths.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm a Latino. We get emotional real quick, 0 to 100. Real quick.
Okay? And I'm doing a 23andMe. I don't know what I am yet, but when I get the results, I'll let you know, because I get emotional real quick too.
Right, but the thing is, and with Ryan, when Ryan's commenting, I see what he's doing, but it seems like Ryan is really not set really on a path.
Yeah, but wait, there's more. Does that dude get laid without paying?
Oh Lord!
Oh my God!
We do have another one from Aaron. My mother and father divorced, extremely close to both, with my dad and my best friend. Both had very different ideas of masculinity and of being a man, and I agree.
That was another question I had for you guys too, because it's like, what if you guys you're from split homes, and the mom is teaching the kid. It could be a girl or a boy, but the mom's teaching them one thing, and then the dad's teaching them a different thing, and it's like there's so much conflict, and then the kid's like, I don't know what to believe. Like, do I believe my mom? Do I believe my dad? Like, that kind of thing.
I don't think that's a man-woman thing. I think that's a parenting thing.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Even if you are not with your baby's father or baby's mother, and you're parenting, the idea is to co-parent and have the same goals and ideas and teach your children the same things. You know what I mean?
it doesn't always happen that way, and people don't always, they don't always get along in that sense of, they don't come together and parent.
And so my thing is, what's best for the child?
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know who you are, Facebook user. More will be revealed.
So basically,
I think Facebook user is right though.
So basically, so would you say that for single moms who are raising boys into men that don't have a solid father in the picture, would you say that because what I did before my son's father came back into his life, what I did was I got my son involved in the boys to men's club, like the boys and girls clubs and different areas. I try to get my dad and my brothers involved and different men in different areas. TJ was actually really great at being a big proponent in my children's life, my boys' lives. So surrounding your sons with positive male role models, because as a woman, we're not going to be able to teach a boy how to be a man, basically.
And Erica, I think Erica's looking for the definitive answer of what you can teach your son as a woman, and I don't think that there is one, right? Like I don't think it's that cut and dry. You know what I mean?
The only thing that I can do, maybe I'm not speaking for all single mothers raising sons, but just just being courteous and respectful to women and know like how to treat a woman and the do's and don'ts, like you don't hit a woman.
I think just how to be a good human being, period.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
Right, absolutely. Manners, respect, humility.
Yeah,
and that's
I do have a question though.
Because I put my son in Taekwondo, and before I put him in there, he was a little bit wild, I'm not gonna lie, but I put him in in Taekwondo, and then all of a sudden he's coming home and saying yes, ma'am, and like doing things right
Discipline.
when I ask, yeah, and he's teaching it like something that I've been trying to teach him, but since his teacher is a male, that made like a huge difference, and he's like, okay, I need to say yes, ma'am, and I need to do the things that my mom is asking me to do like right away, and I think that was very good, for him, but.
And that's what we mean by getting them involved in different activities where it's going to be where you're going to have that male role model. We do have some comments. Kind of want to get through them because we gotta go into our asking for a friend segment. So that's when you talk to God when you need help. Going to your woman is not the move. Trust me, she won't forget ever. I don't know what kind of women you've been around, but sweetheart, I need you to get out of that pool and jump into a different pond. Because that's I don't know. We got Stephanie. Men are allowed to be. So Stephanie's a social worker, by the way. Men are allowed to be emotional. I don't want my man crying out all the time, but I also don't want my female friends crying all the time. Everyone is allowed to show their emotions. It doesn't make you less masculine. Then we got Ryan again. What's best for the child is a father and mother. Mothers alone can't raise men. Same thing for raising little girls. They need daddy too. We agree with you on that front. I don't think that we disagree with you. Plenty of father replacements for examples in society. Just please teach them to sit when they pee. Damn pigs we are. Yeah. Okay, this is a long one and it's going to cover all of us.
Hey, Carly. Oh my God, that's my friend. Hey, Carly, I miss you.
Carly. My husband and I have been married 12 years and have 2 children. He was raised in a household where they didn't show or talk about emotions. It made it hard when it came to disciplining and allowing my son to show emotion. He didn't understand that it's healthy to show emotions and still be strong. We are on the same page now, but it is so important to talk about emotions, and you can do that without being a whiny crybaby. It's healthy.
Yes, I completely agree with that. I love her. She's awesome. She's amazing. She's a nurse just like you, Chrissy.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Montana and Miss Spitter, do you guys have anything on
Miss
this?
Spitter
Anything
had
you
her
want to
hand
add?
up for a while.
Yeah. I have a question. Since they are not telling us anything we can do as women, what should we never do? What is something that maybe your own mom or maybe your a woman in your life did, or you've seen other people do, that is just like cutting down that masculinity?
Fantastic question.
Yeah, I like that question.
Guys,
Silence. Hello.
Ooh,
men.
welcome.
So can you repeat
Check
the
mic.
question,
One,
Mrs.
two.
Can you repeat the question?
What should we do, whether as moms or with other men in our lives, in our family, whatever? What should we not do? What can we do that can actually damage somebody's masculinity?
So the one thing is, and I was talking to Montana about this the other day. So there's a very, very, very thin line about a man and his ego.
Okay.
So the one thing us men want, what we want to feel, what drives our testosterone to be the best man we can be is feed that ego. But the one thing that I can say is don't overdo it, because either number one, you playing too much, or number two, a toxic masculinity, a toxic man will take that as a breach into control.
Okay.
So if you go and you say, "Oh yeah, babe, you're so strong," we're like, we we puff out our chest a little bit. We're like, "Yeah, I know, baby." You know what I'm saying? And then she'll go and she'll say, "Can you please take out the garbage because you're so strong?" You'd be like, "Oh, I see what you did there." But in that moment, we felt TJ, stop the face, bro. In that moment, we if you show your man, if you say something to your man, because I believe that words are very strong spiritually. If you can take your man and say, "Babe, you are my king," your man, if he is not a toxic man, will say, "I know, baby, that's why you're my queen." You understand? So the one thing is feeding that ego, but I mean, don't give him the whole buffet, but just let him know. Just let him know that he is your rock. And trust me, he will be a boulder, because men can't do things partially. "Oh, you call me a rock? Well, you know what? I'm a boulder now. You know what? This is what you made, and that's what it is." So I think that that's the biggest case is ego. If you can show your man that type of love, but unconditional, but at the same time, make sure you keep it honed in, I think you got an all-star in your corner.
Okay. TJ?
I agree to a point.
I know,
because the ego is like men's egos are very fragile,
right?
And you can catch the other side of that to they're too much to where they don't fit in the room because their ego is so big. So it's a fine line, right? Like how you said, don't give them the whole buffet. Whatever my wife does works because I've been here for 16 years.
Right.
So I don't know what she does. I don't know.
All the ladies need to take advice from Miss Spitter.
I don't know, guys.
Relax. Y'all need to chill. But she knows that she can't feed my ego like that because I will turn into a fucking monster.
Right.
If I'm being honest. It'll be two suspect ass open the jar, "You're so strong" comments, and I'm flexing all over the house, and it's not healthy for anyone. You know what I mean?
What about your moms? Did your moms do something or didn't do something?
Come on, man. You gotta stop asking me loaded questions.
What?
Man, we need to learn.
Well,
Yeah.
can I put in my 2 cents here real quick before you
My-
say mom, just to go off of what you can do for your man or
Yeah.
so I knew in my first marriage I was very dominant. And like Brandon said, don't belittle the man. I was very
Oh, really?
dominant, and I can tell you that I ate his masculinity and took his manhood, chewed it up, swallowed it, and spit it back out. And I
Right.
knew that I did that. And I reflected back on that. And I always say, I wouldn't want to, if I was him, I wouldn't have wanted to be married to me either. But I learned and I grew, and then I found my place with faith. And I understood that as a woman and as a partner to another person, forget male or female, but just to another person, that I can't make myself bigger than they are. We have to be equal. So with my second marriage, while albeit it didn't work out, it wasn't for that reason. I knew that I had to back myself down a little, and I allowed him to make decisions and be dominant in certain areas and stroke his ego. Not that I was lying or pretending about it, but acknowledging his part as the male.
Yes.
Okay.
And that was a little so I saw both ends of it, what to do and what not to do. But like B said, you have to do it in small doses, because if you just give them the whole damn buffet, fuck it, we're in trouble.
Yeah.
I can totally relate to that, Chrissy, because I did the same exact things in my past relationships, and I also did a lot of reflecting on that. And men want they want to be masculine, and they want I always had that thing as like, oh, I don't. If a man knows that, or you make it known that you don't need them, and it's like, well, why am I here, basically? Like,
right.
what do you need me for? Like, if I'm not going to be the man, if I'm not going to provide for you because you got it all figured out, you know everything that, and that was my problem too. And I've had to, like, reflect on myself and be like, oh, okay, this is not what a relationship is supposed to be. And, I'm going to like work on these things and, but I mean, it's a learning process. Every relationship is a learning process. Go ahead, B. What's up?
But hi, lady.
Hi.
But the thing is, coming off of what you're saying, is when I met my wife, I had an 8-year-old son, and the child's father went and put her in situations where she was bouncing from house to house because he had an affair. She caught him. He had an affair for a year and a half, and my wife found out about it, right? So now you're looking at an 8-year-old kid that right now is where the sponge is happening. The sponge effect is happening, where a child between the ages of, I believe, 3 and 8 or 3 and 9, where they absorb the most, and they set their foundation on what life is supposed to be. So what I had to do is, when I met my wife, and as a personal testimony, before that, I was a drunk homeless. I was a drunk homeless, right? And what I had to do is I had to make a decision in that one moment is, am I going to be a bum and live off of as I used to say back then, that I need to live off of this broad so I can live? Or what do I do now? Should I go to Walmart and get him some SpongeBob SquarePants underwear from the job that I made, the money I made? Well, she was only my girlfriend. But then at that point, this kid, I go and I give him something that it's not for his joy or anything, but this is life. So I had to step into the role. But my wife at the time, she was my girlfriend, she did not understand that. And I had to make her understand by giving that trust to her. Because at that point, me coming in as the new boyfriend, right? And she just got out of a marriage, which she was married for, I believe, 6 years. And the only thing she knows is that all men are jerks. She thought it was going to be a one-night stand, but I stayed because I felt, I don't know, there was something. I fell in love with her. And with falling in love with her, I had to take the responsibility as a man to provide. And she for the first couple of months, she made it really, really hard for me. And then one day I went to go hang out with my friends. They were chilling at the bar, okay? And it was from work, which is money that I provided for her and her son. And I wanted to just get out. And the one thing that she did to me, she says, "Oh, so you're not going anywhere else but that?" I looked at her and I said, "Listen, if you want to have an argument right now, we're going to have an argument right now. But you know what? If you're going to treat me like you treated dude because you don't trust dude, that's not me." So I said, "Watch your tone, because that makes me feel like you're going to micromanage me from now until however long we're together." And I've been with her for now 12 years.
God bless.
But I had to make her understand that I'm not that dude. But the only way that I was able to accomplish that was, number one, to have integrity with everything that I do. I'm not a perfect man. I do make mistakes, but to have integrity, responsibility, take accountability for all my actions, and to be a father figure in her life. And as of 2015, I went from being homeless in 2008. In 2015, I had 28 employees under me that were working for the Jock Brothers company, which was my old company. And I wouldn't have gotten there if it wasn't for the trust that I gave my wife, and she gave it right back. So it definitely is.
But it's definitely a give and take, and it's definitely we're humans, and some of us are damaged, and some of us need to repair ourselves, and some of us need help from others to repair ourselves. And I think it's all collective, because at the end of the day, we're all human.
Right.
Period.
Nobody's perfect.
But you have to look at the testimony of the people that are around you. You have to look at this. You have to look at what people have sowed, the seeds that they have sowed. Because if you're going to hang out with 5 people that get drunk all the time, which is what I did, I became a drunk. And then I started hanging out with successful people that put me on, and I became successful because of the people and the environment that I placed myself in.
Okay.
All right. So because we've got to get into our next segment.
We got a lot of comments.
Real fast, Christina, can I answer Jackie's question before I leave?
Okay.
Her question was, what was my mother doing for me to make me become a man? I believe, is that the question that you said, huh?
Yeah, or not doing, either one.
So I was raised by 3 different women collectively. Okay, and my adopted mother, who raised me, was very enabling. And while that was good to a certain degree, the other 2 women in my life, my second and my third mother, Colleen and Debbie, were very no nonsense, did not co-sign any of my bullshit, but treated me like a king. You know what I mean? Like, there was accountability, but there was also, times are different now. Like, I knew if I fucked up back then, they would whoop my ass. You know what I mean? Like, it didn't matter. Like, and they raised 6 boys, and we're all doing well.
So I give my tough love. All my kids get tough love. And that's it. We have 2 comments to go over, and then we're gonna, because we went through all the other ones, Lady E, while everybody was talking. But we got Aaron, who says, "I got all of my sexual advice, anatomy lessons, and confidence only from women. My mom would answer anything. My father, too conservative and afraid to answer."
Wow.
And then we got, "So as a wife, just today, I was told that sometimes I just need to let him talk it out, and he doesn't always need a solution, and just let him speak." Oh my God! Let me tell you, I always say that when I'm in a relationship and I'm talking to the guy, I don't always need a resolution.
Yeah.
I just sometimes need to talk about it, and that's it, and that's all.
And see, guys want that too. It's not just us women who just want our voices to be heard and want to be vented. Like, we just want to vent it out. Yeah, we do that. And we're not expecting a man to just be like, give us a solution. Like, we just want to just blurt it all out, and it's done. whatever. And I think men also want that. Like they just want to speak their minds and just have us listen. And I love that comment.
Right.
So on that note, we're going to tell the guys to get the hell out of here, right? Because we got to do our asking for our friend. But I do want to say, hey, wait a minute, let us say goodbye. I do want to thank you guys for coming on the show and being a part of this episode. You know, we went a little longer than we wanted to, but guess what? You know, when it's flowing and we got facts and people commenting and we're just going back and forth, that's what this is all about. It's all about communication and back and forth. So we thank you very much for coming on, and hopefully we'll see you on another episode. So have a great night, guys.
Thank you, ladies, and keep killing these episodes. Y'all doing a great job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Really quick, Chrissy, Lady, Montana, Mrs. Spitter, thank you so much for having me on.
Thank you for being here.
I appreciate what you guys are doing. I think that your platform is ridiculously awesome. I think your movement is going to grow bigger and bigger and bigger. And I pray that our Savior, Jesus Christ, gives you guys more power and more views and all the love that he can give you guys.
Thank you so much for that. Thank you.
Thanks,
all right, guys.
Good night.
Great.
Bye-bye.
Oh, that was so
ladies. Oh, wait. We got some more comments. We got so much fun. Really? You thought it was fun, Ryan? Don't go anywhere.
I think he likes to argue. I don't know. I think he likes. I mean, who doesn't?
All right.
Thanks, Ryan.
So we're gonna get through this quick because I so want to fucking take a shot. So
I'm ready. Are you guys ready? Are you guys legit ready though? All right, I'm ready.
But we do have this. This is still kind of a serious, you know, depending on we go. Asking for a friend, is drunk consent valid? Is drunk consent actual consent? Who wants to take this first?
Woo!
Can I? Oh, Jackie, go ahead, Jackie.
Go, Jackie, go.
No. I was just talking about all the women in Steph's comment.
No, don't leave. Don't leave. We were telling you don't leave. You get so much fun. Don't leave. Go ahead.
Listen. I posted this thing on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and it's the I can't vacation.
What?
So dudes have, and you guys are, you know what you're doing. It's the implication. You know what you're doing. So yeah, if you're gonna get drunk with a dude, you know what you're doing. You just don't do it. If you don't do it in the first place, then you don't put yourself in that situation. And if you do it, you know it's going to happen. So yes, drunk, doesn't matter. Drunk, whatever you're on, don't put yourself in that situation, period. If you want to be in that situation, then you're giving them like kind of consent just by doing what you're doing in the first place in front of them.
Yep.
Nothing?
I'm gonna, you know, I'm always vocal, but sometimes I want to take a back seat so other people can.
I mean, we're just listening to what you gotta say about this topic. So,
yeah,
I think if you're putting yourself in that situation, you know what you're doing, and if you don't, then you're ignorant. And if you're that ignorant, then you're stupid, and someone should have taught you better. But if you're that stupid and you fall into that situation.
So here's my take on it. Drunk consent is not consent, and it's illegal.
That's not true.
It's illegal. No, it is illegal. You can't.
I think Montana don't agree with that. But go ahead, girl. Say your piece.
Because
I want to hear why you think it's all right.
So here's my thing, right? Let's say we're at a house party. Let's say we're at my house and I'm having a house party.
Yep.
And I'm like, I'm not driving anywhere. I don't have to be the DD. It's all good. I'm about to get lit. And I get drunk in my own damn house. And then I'm not planning to have sex with no one. But now there's a guy who's been attracted to me who happens to be at the same party that happens to be in my house and takes advantage of the fact that I'm inebriated in my own house.
Why would you have him there in the first place then?
Because he's a friend. Because he's a friend. I don't know he's a shit fuck.
Is he a
friend?
But you don't know. But here's my thing: you don't know anybody's true intentions until that moment.
Then don't have him around. You don't have him around when you're drunk. Then don't invite someone you don't trust.
No, I know what Chris is saying. I know what Chris is saying. Maybe you didn't think of him in that way at the party, but then now that you're drunk and maybe he's not as drunk as you, I get what you're saying. And then like he's like, oh, I tried to like swindle his way in there when he's had like a crush on you the whole time. And then you're just like, well, I'm too drunk to even like, I don't even know who you are. Like that, I understand that.
You know,
that's consent.
It's 3 o'clock in the morning, but you can't give consent when you can't give consent when you're inebriated. You can't give consent, and you can't.
No, that's consent. Having him at your house is consent.
No, having him at my house is consent. Having him in my pussy is not.
But if okay,
same shit. Don't have him at your house. Don't invite someone you don't know at your house. And if he's your friend,
not that you have your girls. Listen, there's you can know people. Uncles fucking rape nieces.
Mm-hmm.
So that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter about how. I'm not saying that this is a new person that I just met last week that's in my house. I could know this person for a year.
Yeah.
And
consent is consent. I don't care if it's drunk or high or whatever. Consent. If you say yes, that's a yes. Especially for dudes. Green light is green.
Because when you're drunk, you can also say no too. And if you say no, I just want to go to sleep, like I'm not feeling good, or you're too drunk to say those. You're not too drunk to say no.
Right.
Like you can just say no, like get off me. Unless you're completely passed out and you're completely passed out drunk and you can't even function words to say, that is not consent. You can't say any words. But if you say words, say no, and then they still do it, that's different.
I want to hear
that's right.
Yeah, so that, I mean, I'm kind of with you on that. Like, it really depends on the level of drunkness. Buzzed consent, I feel like, is consent. But you know when somebody's too drunk to know what the hell's going on. They don't know where they are. They don't know who you are. They're like, oh, what's happening? You know what I mean? Like, I've been that person. Plenty of times. I think you should be able to.
Go ahead.
I think you should be able to use common sense. Like, is the person coherent and buzzed, or are they wasted? And if you can't tell, you should not take that as consent.
I have a friend that will not sleep with any women if they've even had one fucking drink.
Yeah, like if they can't drive, I wouldn't trust it.
Yeah. Okay, I get that.
She got me drunk and I couldn't perform. Joke was on her. A new partner you just met? No, full
stop. That was my other point.
No,
is this somebody you're already with or not? That makes a big difference.
Yeah.
I don't know though. If one person is drunk and the other one is not, then no, I don't think it's consent.
My husband doesn't drink at all.
Exactly.
So, I'm always the drunk one.
But he's also your husband.
Wait, he's
your husband.
But although there is, you can still have unconsented sex with your wife, but
I mean, that's true. That's true.
If a guy needs drunk consent to have sex, his game is weak.
Yes.
That's true.
Yes, I agree with you. We got we got a bunch. Go ahead. We got a bunch. But go ahead.
My final thing is I did look it up for my state. If you are unconscious or unaware, it is rape. So unaware is kind of like where I'm saying you can use common sense and see, does the person know what's going on or not? And if you give that person drugs or alcohol without them knowing, that's rape.
Yeah.
So obviously, if you're spiking their drink, that's rape.
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely.
Even if you have it recorded that they're saying yes, but they're like on some type of.
But if they look inebriated or fucked up, that doesn't count.
No.
I believe that drunken words are sober thoughts. However, there has to be a clear distinction between the word yes and the words I changed my mind. This is where the guy gets this is where it gets scary, in my opinion. I agree.
Very true.
We always want to fuck girl as soon as she wakes up. When a woman is so drunk that she passes out, I think men should have enough sense to understand that means stop.
Yeah.
That's the equivalent of saying no.
Yeah.
I'm with Montana. Why you getting drunk? You creating your own environment in my own motherfucking house. Don't get drunk around me. Oh, no. And if you want to have sex, you don't need to get drunk. That's why they call it friends with benefits.
Okay.
That's right.
Yep.
If you're a blackout drunk, it is not consent. I've done crazy shit when drunk that I never would have done otherwise.
Yeah.
Friends don't let friends fuck.
The buddy system.
Nope. If she's drinking, we sleeping.
Well, we know after every Monday night.
I go to bed.
Yeah, apparently.
Right?
But I do think it. Yeah.
If you do want to have drunk sex with somebody, tell them in the beginning of the night, like, after these drinks, are we sleeping at your house? You know what I mean? Like, make it official before the drinks flow. That's all.
Listen, when I was with somebody, I said to him, we're going to drink. And he was like, yeah, it was somebody that I was, seeing, dating. And I said, oh, drunk sex is the best sex for me.
Yeah.
You's about to get it. Like, so absolutely. Like, I mean, but I already made that known that that's what we were going to do. And that was what my intentions were.
Yeah, exactly. It's the implication. You don't put yourself in that position unless you're that's exactly what you're gonna do. So
I don't drink much. And if I having been an EMT in New York City for 6 years and now being a nurse, my first call as an EMT was a kid struck by a motor vehicle and it was a drunk driver. So I am of the consensus that I don't even have one drink if I'm gonna drive, period. I don't even have one because of my experience on being in the medical field. And I'm always a designated driver because of that. So people are like, oh, Chris will be the designated driver. So I've never gotten to a place where I didn't have comprehension of what I was doing. But I can tell you my inhibitions are a little bit different when I'm drunk. I am more likely to try some crazy shit in bed drunk than I would sober because I'm not thinking about what my ass looks like, what my tits look like. I'm
worry about none of that.
Yeah, I'm not worried about any of that. So your inebriation does definitely change your perception and your inhibitions. So it can change. Crazy. I know even when I guess drink, I know what I'm doing. Isn't alcohol the truth serum? It is. And Gary Davis says yes. So did we all touch this?
I didn't answer this yet.
I thought you did. How much did you drink, Lady E?
I commented on what everybody else was saying. I didn't give my answer yet. So
did I drink?
So my answer is it depends on the situation. Okay. If you're going out with a bunch of girls, like it's girls' night, everybody is definitely on the prowl for that like one night stand thing. This is back in the day. I'm not talking about right now because I'm like 30 something, whatever. But back in the day, like in your 20s, you go out to the club with your girls and you're gonna get drunk and you're gonna be like, oh, I'm on the prowl to look out and see who I'm taking home tonight or who is taking me home tonight or whatever. But you make sure that you're not too drunk. Like you're not to the point of being wasted where you can't drive or you can't like figure out the Uber on your app, or like you don't know where you're going. You're just getting into a random car and going somewhere where you don't even know where you're going. Like that's way too drunk to even, like, yeah, in your mind you're consenting to it at the time because you're like, oh yeah, fuck it, whatever, I'm drunk, let's do it, let's go wherever. But the guy obviously is just like, oh, I'm gonna get laid tonight. But a respectable guy should be like, you know, I'll take you home, or I'll make sure you get home safely, and you know, like we can sleep it off, or we'll sleep together, and then the next morning, you know, maybe we can, you know, do whatever. But
I don't know what kind of friends you had, but when I went out with my girls, I never let we come together, we leave together. That's how it goes. I never let you leave with a guy.
Okay, so no. So when I went out with my girls, we would go home together, right? We would go home together, but I was always having that one follow, or, you know, like follow me to my house. I wouldn't usually go to his house. I'd just be like, you know, I'm going home with my girl. We're riding together because I'm usually not the D in this situation. I'm 34, by the way, but I'm still old enough to not put myself in that position now. I mean, before, yeah, I was doing that in my 20s, but as long as you're saying yes, or you usually have the notion that, okay, I want to get drunk tonight and I want to get laid, and you already have that in your mind whenever you go out to meet people or whatever. So it's gonna happen, whether you're, I don't know.
I was the Nazi friend. I was the cock blocker like a motherfucker.
Oh, you were that one. Okay, I'm like the complete opposite.
Because you know why? Your safety is my concern. Like, my friend is not, when you're sober and you still decide that you want to go ahead and drink, I mean, you want to go ahead and screw him, then screw him when you're sober. I won't let you screw him when you're drunk. And that's why I was the cock blocker, because 9 out of 10 times when you woke up the next morning, you were like, yo, thanks, Chris. Like, that would have been wasted finger, like a wasted number, you know, a belt notch. That would have been a wasted one.
But see, my girls and I, you know, we were like the complete opposite. Like, there was no cock blocking in that. We wanted to hear the story the next day. Like, we were like, girl, what happened? Like, tell me what happened. I'll be like, oh, he was so lame, like all this shit, like, or whatever the case. But it was more interesting and more fun. I mean, God forbid, like nothing bad happened to me or my girls or anything like that. But like, thank God, because a lot of things probably could have went wrong, and we were very, very blessed in those situations. But I mean, there was one time, I'm gonna tell you a little short story, but so a coworker of mine, she was a really old lady. She asked me if I wanted to go out on a date or be the date of a guy that she knew, a friend that she knew, a neighbor or whatever. He needed a date for one of his holiday parties at his job. So basically she was like pimping me out, but I didn't think about that at the time. I thought about that later. Like, anyway.
Oh my God.
Like, so it was like a blind date, kind of like pimping me out kind of thing. So I was like, all right, sure, I'll go. It's free dinner, free drinks, whatever. We smoked hookah there. We were having dinner, drinks, whatever. We were having a lot of fun. It was a guy that I was never, ever, ever going to be with, or I was not attracted to at all. But I still did it. I still went. We had a great time. We went back to my apartment. We started doing some things. I was very drunk, and I think I was like blacked out, but I don't know. But I came out of the blackout while I was on top of him, and I realized what I was doing and who I was doing it to, and I saw this, and I was just like, whoa. I was like, no. And then all of a sudden I just got up and I'm like, you gotta leave. You gotta go.
Wow.
Did he roofie you?
I don't know, but he just got up and left. Like I don't know. I don't know if I was drugged or I was just really, really drunk or whatever. But I got up and I was just like, oh, this ain't happening. You gotta go. And he left. And it could have ended really, really badly. And I'm blessed that it didn't. And he just got up and left, and I never heard from him again. But yeah, that was the situation where, it was consent at first, because you're drunk and you consent, but then you might change your mind later on. So I get what you're saying, Chrissy, because I thought about that when you said it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like, it's the older that you get, the more you're aware and your drinking limit. When you're young, you don't know your drinking limit yet.
And then you get those fruity drinks and you're sitting down, then all of a sudden you stand up and you're like, oh shit. It just hits you like a bullet.
Right. Yeah. And then you're like, oh, I thought I was okay until I got into the car with this guy. And then I'm like, I can't function. And then you get to the place and you're just like, oh, I changed my mind. And he's like, oh no, you already said yeah. Like,
nope. Yeah. But that's still no. You can he could be 3 strokes in. Yeah. And you say no, and he got to get the fuck off of you.
Right.
Absolutely. Right. So Brendan says, if that's the case, then they would have a lot of arrested. I guess they would arrest a lot of people. I just got a text from someone saying, I'm drinking. What does that mean? When you're drinking, it gives the other sex a sign?
Well, I mean, women, I guess, and men are more hornier when they're drinking.
The inhibitions are gone.
When they're like, oh, I'm drinking right now, and that's supposed to mean I want sex. Like,
so what you need to do, Brandon, is text back and say, so what you trying to do tonight? Like, do I bring the magnums or just say, just come right out and get it in text? But remember, if you get over there and she says, I changed my mind, that's not consent.
No.
Yeah. And on that note, we're going to go ahead and I don't know what happened to Montana, but I still want to pour this shot. It's time for Truth or Drink. We got our... You got your shot glass?
Hold up.
I don't know if E should be drinking tonight. I know she's feeling rough.
I'm going to do some Malibu.
Excuse me. I was feeling a little rough last night, but a little rough? No, I was like gone last night.
All right. I don't know what the hell.
Where about E? Is that what they were calling you?
Hold on. Yeah.
I was on E. Yeah, I was on E. Okay. I got my shot of... let's do this tonight. How about that?
I'm drinking cheap tequila. No shame. No shame.
Everybody, wait, can we get a plug? Maybe they could sponsor us.
I had way too much tequila last night. So
please send me some free tequila. I'll drink on the show every day.
You know what? Steph, since Montana's out right now, pour yourself a shot and we will ask you the question and you have to answer on air or tell us, and then this is what I want you to do, right? What I want you to do is if you take a shot, I want you to take a picture of you taking the shot and you got to post it to the Clock Watch group.
I love it.
All right. You know, I'm always thinking of shit on the fly. I'm drinking text. It's a trap. You're right. I'm trying to take my shot like I'm about to drink. Like I'm just going to drink. Yeah, Stephanie's in. She's in. All right. Perfect. So we'll give you time to type your question, your answer.
Should we ask Stephanie first so she has time and then we'll go into us?
Yeah.
All right, Stephanie, no cheating.
Okay, Stephanie.
Stephanie? I'm sorry.
That was dirty. Give it to her.
No, it's going to be easy for her to answer. It is dirty, but it's not hard. If you had a hot brother or sister, would you let them seduce you?
Wait, you said it wasn't dirty, but it's hard. That was kind of like sexual.
It is dirty, but it's not hard.
Sorry, my perverted mind went somewhere else. So go ahead. Sorry.
Stephanie, would you consent to incest? But that's basically what the question is asking.
What? Oh wait, I didn't hear the question. My dirty thoughts went somewhere else. Go ahead. Sorry.
The question was, if you have a hot brother or sister, would you let them seduce you? Which is why it's dirty, but it's not a hard answer. Like, obviously, that's a no.
Ew.
Right.
So disgusting.
No, you don't have to take a shot.
Anyway, it's fun.
So that's round one. Who else wants to play with us? If you want to play with us, let us know in the comments, because Montana's not here, so we need a fourth person. But we're going to do this round. And then for round two, if you want to play, let us know.
Yeah.
All righty. Chrissy, you going up first? Actually, yeah. If we formed a gang, what would the name of our posse be?
Shit. Power P, yo. Power P. That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. We're
Do
fine.
we not look good this close? Is that what you're trying to tell us?
All right.
I guess
Alex Harris says, but you have to have a shot. Like, you need to get a shot, and then if you pass on the question, you have to take a shot, and you need to take a picture of you taking the shot and post it to the Clockwatch group. All right? So, do you want to give this question? No, let's do Lady E, you, and then Alex, you're going to come. You got to stick around.
All right. So Lady E.
He's so stupid. Go ahead, sorry.
What's your happiest memory from when you were a single-digit aged child? So before 10.
Wow. My happiest memory?
Yeah.
It would probably it'd probably have to be. I have a lot of horrible memories as a child, but
this is happy.
One happy memory was probably when I did gymnastics. I was 5 years old, and I loved doing it. Like I was about five or six, and my mom put me in gymnastics, me and my brother, but I absolutely loved it. Like I was so into it, and I really miss it. I still try to do gymnastics to this day. Like I actually got a concussion one time. I was really drunk and tried to do gymnastics, but that's story. I was hanging off of a construction site, but upside down. But that's I wish I love gymnastics, and I wish I could totally would have went with that and kept doing it because I love it. Yeah. And that's one of my happy memories. So.
It's cute.
So, Ms. Spitter, before you do yours, let's give Alex his question, then we'll do your question, and then by that time, Alex will have enough time to answer. So, Alex, this question is for you.
Alex, have you ever pooped yourself as an adult?
Alex, we want to know if you shitted yourself as an adult. So you either have to answer or take a shot. So
I'm so glad I did not get that question.
Go answer hers, and you let us know. Amigos.
Oh my God.
That's a much better tequila than what I'm drinking. My goodness.
Guess what, Alex? I need a picture of you taking that shot, and you need to post it to Clockwatch and put Power P, truth or dare. Truth or drink.
Truth or shit in my pants.
You have to take that picture because I'm gonna call your ass out in the group if you don't. Picture of you taking a shot, post it to the group page, and put Power P Truth or Drink. And one day you're gonna tell me that story about shitting yourself.
And let everybody know that you played the game with us and that you were on with us tonight and supporting us. Yeah. And we really appreciate all that. So thank you for that. Because we love when people interact with us and comment and want to play this game with us. We're even thinking about, doing a little segment with all of you guys. So
in one of those chat room things in the group. So
right. Yeah. So stay tuned for that. It's going to happen eventually. Just wait.
Sometimes taking a shot is answering the question.
Right?
What you got? What you got?
All right. Oops, forgot to. You suddenly become wealthy beyond the dreams of, I don't know what that word. What do you do with the rest of your life? Wealthy beyond dreams? Dang, I don't know.
Everybody has thought about this. Like, everybody has thought about winning the lottery at some point in their life, even if you don't even play. You know what you're gonna do.
I think, oh my gosh, my dream is to like run a household of like, I don't know, young moms or like people getting out of rehab or something like that. Like, I just want to be the mom of like hundreds of people.
Aww, that's so sweet.
Is it, or am I like that bossy? I don't really know, but that's probably what I would do.
People may think that you're crazy, but I think that is amazing, and I would totally support that. I would actually live in the house with you to help you, because I love that, because a lot of mothers out there, especially young mothers who are getting on their feet or coming out of a bad situation, they need that. And that's awesome for you to automatically think that in your head and just be like, this is what I want to do with my money, instead of, buying a house and cars and all this stuff. Like, you're an amazing person. I just want to say that you're incredible. And Mr. Spitter, you better watch out, because I'm for your wife right now. So
yes. So the shot is on the name. Yes. That's exactly where we wanted at. I'm still
down tell us the story
too, and if no one else wants to. I was actually gonna say we have one more round to go before we say goodnight, right? We'll do one more round. So anybody else wants to take a shot or answer a question with us, let us know. And if not, Stephanie will take you up on that offer, but we'll see if somebody else wants to join in. So we'll start the round again.
TJ doesn't like the competition, Erica.
Hey, you better watch out.
Are we starting with Stephanie again?
Game up.
No, we're gonna see if somebody else wants to take a swag at this, and then if not, we'll go to Stephanie.
All right. So Chris,
we'll start with
you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You're gonna drink. Okay. When was the last time you spoke to an ex? What was it about? And was there any tension?
Well,
now with a twist. Now with a twist, right?
Yep. I almost forgot. We haven't had anybody drink yet.
Ooh.
Chris says, I'm drinking, but are you playing? Do you want to play?
Let's
drink.
Let's do this.
So, Chris, the person 2 seats to your left answers the question. So I think I would be first and Erica would be second. Or is it me? How do you count your left?
To my left? Well, to my left would be going counterclockwise, right? So then that would be Lady E.
I have to answer this? I have to answer this? Oh my God.
What question? Chris, after Lady E answers this question, we're going to give you yours. No, we ask you the question, and you have to either answer the question or take a shot if you don't want to answer the question, And if you don't answer the question, then you have to take a picture taking the shot and post it to our main Clock Watch Facebook page.
Yep.
He says, okay. So Lady E's going to answer, and then we'll ask you your question, Chris.
Okay, I have to answer the question that you didn't answer?
Yeah. You have to answer Chris's question.
All right, so let's repeat the question.
When was the last time you talked to an ex? What did you talk about, and was there tension?
So the last time that I talked to an ex was my ex-husband, and I talked to him about my son and his school and all that stuff, and there was no tension at all because we get along great. We are friends, and we did our relationship on a mutual agreement, and we're really close friends. If anything came out of the relationship, me and my ex-husband, we ended on a mutual agreement, and there's no, back history with that. So
that's really cool.
Awesome.
Yeah. Which is very rare for me. Which is very, very rare for me because I've always ended my relationships like "fuck you." But anyways, no. But that was great.
So Chris, you're gonna get another question, but Chris, we're gonna ask this question. So Mr. Wilson, this one is for you. Pay attention.
All right. What did you get in major trouble for as a kid, and did you ever learn your lesson?
So, what did you get in trouble for as a kid, and did you learn your lesson? Or, all right, he said he's ready. He's ready. So, what did you get in trouble for?
Type up your answer.
Major trouble, and did you learn your lesson? Okay?
Yeah.
All right. So, while you're typing it up, we're going to go to Lady E with her question.
All right. What's the most surprising discovery you've made about your own body?
The most oh my God, this is a hard one. Like the most surprising discovery.
The most surprising discovery,
well, I would have to say, I guess it's just with my health, I would say. I wanted to go sexually, but I'm not going to do that because I've already discovered that, and it's not surprising.
Nothing new to discover.
That was a given on that point, but I want to say my health and just when you're young, you think you eat whatever you want and you just live this life of just freedom of eating things, and then as you get older, you discover certain things about your life and yourself that maybe it's not as good as it used to be, or it's not good for your body, because if you keep eating the same way as you did when you were like 18, 19, 20, you're not going to look the same. So that was like the biggest discovery with myself, because I actually came to the conclusion myself. It wasn't from a doctor. It was myself that I was lactose intolerant, and I was not always like that. So I didn't need to go to a specialist to tell me these foods that you're eating are not good for you, or they don't cooperate with your body. It took myself and a lot of self-reflection and a lot of eating certain things or canceling out certain things to know what my body likes and what it doesn't like. And for you to be that in tune with your body is, I think it's just on another level. Like it's more than just a sexual thing. It's just like, what you can put into your body to know what's right for you. So that was like mind blowing to me when I first came up with that. I was like, oh my God, like I should be like a scientist.
We got an answer. So he answered he didn't have to take a shot. I was a class clown growing up. I was always trying to make people happy laugh. I learned I needed to put that same energy into making myself happy as well.
That's beautiful.
While I think that's a great answer, I don't think you answered the question. What is the one thing you did that got your ass in trouble? And did your mama's whooping teach you not to do it again? So I think this as an answer, but I still want to know what's the worst shit you did as a kid.
But I get what he's saying though, because he wanted to make other people laugh even though he wasn't laughing inside or he wasn't happy with himself. He wanted to see
get all that, but that wasn't the answer to the fucking question.
No, it wasn't the answer, but it was a very, very good answer, but it wasn't the answer to the question.
No,
but
he needs to answer the question. You playing this game, you play it the way we play it. So Miss
painful answers, painful.
Because I can relate to that though, because I was the class clown in like 7th grade, and I just wanted to be like the nonsense person and just blurt shit out and be funny. And I almost failed 7th grade, by the way. And I was just like, yo, I need to like I'm not happy with my life, but I want everybody else to be happy. And that's kind of like a reflection on yourself. It's like the class clowns are usually the ones who are really suffering inside.
I was a class clown and happy as shit.
Okay, well, there's like an exception to the rule. Excuse me. God.
I was the oldest. I did a lot. I was responsible for a lot too. Worst thing I ever did, I never got caught doing. And it sounds pretty fucking illegal because you're not saying it. You could always add allegedly to it. Allegedly. Thank you for playing with us, Chris, Stephanie, and Alex. So we appreciate it. Yeah, and now Miss Spitter's going to ask her question to herself.
What's the best compliment you've ever been given? I used to say that a lot too.
Wait, the worst compliment?
The best.
Oh, the best compliment.
I'm gonna say this is an easy answer. My daughter compliments me every day. She doesn't listen to me, but every day she says, "Mama, you're so nice. Thank you for taking care of us. Thank you for feeding us. Thank you for putting up with my shit all day long." And to me, that is absolutely the best compliment. Like, what do you want? But still, the best compliment. Yeah.
I know exactly. I know exactly what you're talking about. There was one time we were sitting in a family therapy session, and my daughter just happened to be there because she's older. She was an adult at this point, and we had gone through some disagreements where we didn't talk for about a year. And we were sitting there as a family group, and the therapist asked my daughter, "Does your mother meet your expectations as a mother?" And for me, growing up the way that I grew up, I was like, "What the fuck you mean expectations? She don't have no expectations except me feeding her ass and putting her through school. That's all the expectations she needs." And then I said, and then she actually answered it. And she said, "Actually, my mom not only met my expectations, but she exceeded them. I knew that if I called her and told her, 'Mom, I need you to come with a shovel and a body bag,' she'd be there with no questions asked." And that was, I know I answered your question, but I know what you mean, that when you get that compliment from your children, you're just like, holy shit.
That was probably like the best compliment that a mother could ever receive. That's awesome.
Thanks, Alex.
Thanks, Alex.
Yeah. And on that note, we're going to say goodbye because we all have work in the morning. Yeah. But it was absolutely a pleasure to have B Jock City, on the podcast, along with Mr. Spitter on the podcast this evening. We thank everybody for joining in. We're going to find out what happened to Montana, but she will be back with us next week. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, Remember that we are also on Clock Watch on Sundays and Tuesdays at 9 p.m. You've got Spitting with Spitter on Wednesdays, noon. Then you got his extended clips on Friday at noon. And then you have Around the Turnbuckle on Saturdays and Sundays at 6 p.m. So make sure you tune in for all the content. Alex, I'm going to make sure I see that picture on Clockwatch because I will call your ass out. But I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Lady E.
Okay. Ditto to everything that Chrissy just said, because I totally support all that, and make sure you do all that shit. And I just want to say thank you guys for joining us with the comments and the questions, and we appreciate all of you guys interacting with us, because that's what makes our show just that much more amazing. And especially when we see people that we don't normally see on like a daily basis, and we're like, okay, we're reaching more and more people, and we're getting more and more people interactive with us, and that is what excites us. Like, that's what we really love. And we hope that all of you guys will continue to join us in these conversations, and just keep being active in our Clockwatch group, keep supporting us. And, we want to have other people on the show. So if you have something to offer us, let us know. Inbox one of us, and, you have something to talk about that we can all relate to, or just something that you are passionate about. We want to hear from you guys. So let us know. Hit one of us up. Join the Power P Ladies IG page. Text us, email us, and asking for friend questions. We are all about that, because we do that segment every single podcast. So if you have questions that you want to be answered, but you're not sure, if you can ask these questions, or they're like in your Google search, but you're like afraid to ask a person that ask us, because we are more than happy to answer these questions for you. So I just want to say thank you guys, and make sure you tune in for all that shit. All right, Miss Spitter.
Ditto to everything you both said. I love the asking for a friend question. Thank you to everyone that has sent a question in, and everyone that's going to send a question in. Our last episode was all asking for a friend. Some of these ideas that you guys are having, they're important to everybody in the group. Right. So send them in. We'll talk about them, and you won't believe how many people are thinking the same exact question. So do it. Just do it. If you're thinking about it, just do it. Thanks to Ben and TJ for coming on tonight. B-Jack and Mr. Spitter. You guys were awesome for doing this. Thank you so very much for our first men-themed Power P episode.
Woo!
Way to go.
We love the men too. We're ladies.
See us again.
Yay!
That's all. Good night, guys. Love you.
All right. Good night.